Okay. Okay, thank you. Caris, Monitoring Officer, are you going to remind everybody of protocol of meetings, or shall I just go straight into the agenda?
I think probably at this stage that everybody is pretty much familiar with it. We all know the usual routine about how you're going to vote by raising a hand and being on mute at any point unless you're asked by the chair to speak. So that's it. I think I've done as much as I need to do, and hand over to you again, Leader.
Well, that's great. Thank you very much. Well, prynawn da pawb. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Merthyr Tydfil County Borough Council's Cabinet meeting on today, and I've forgotten the date. It is the 3rd of March, isn't it? Wednesday, the 3rd of March. As you can gather, it's been one of those days today. So welcome to everybody. As I've said previously, please note the meeting is being recorded and may be broadcast via the authority's intranet site. The images and sound recording may also be used for training purposes within the authority, and to remind the leader of what date it is when she opens meetings, perhaps. So what I'll do is I'll go straight through to the agenda items. Agenda item number 1, have we any apologies for absence?
No apologies received, Chair.
Thank you. Agenda item number 2, are there any declarations of interest? No, I can't see any hands raised. In that case, I'll go on to straight onto the open session then, guys, under strategic agenda item number 3, and that is the Council Priorities and Budget Consultation 2021-22 to consider a report of the Interim Chief Executive. And who is taking us through this report? I believe it's Councillor Andrew Barry.
You are correct, Leader. Okay, so thanks, Chair. The Council Priorities and Budget Consultations 2021-22. The budget setting process usually has Cabinet out on the road consulting across the borough in relation to the budget and our council priorities over the coming financial year. This year, between the 22nd of January and the 21st of February, the people of Merthyr were denied the Hollywood good looks of Councillor Thomas and the cheeky Arthur Daly approaches of Councillor Hughes. The pandemic has caused havoc this year, and what is one of the more enjoyable elements of what we do, because we're out there with the public and having their opinions, warts and all. Key areas, 64% believe it was important to maintain services, even if there was a reasonable council tax, increase in the council tax. Nearly 90% wanted a reduction in council tax, understandably. Top 5 in our priorities as the public have identified for us. Number 1, nearly 89% had considerations about waste. Then it was 86% in terms of education, nearly 83% for highways and infrastructure, nearly 80% environment, health, community and safety, and nearly 75% then children and social care came in 5th. The bottom 2, street scene and physical regeneration, Councillor Thomas. It has to be said that the numbers are massively reduced from previous years. However, these figures are still an excellent guide for us. Perhaps this coming year we can hold the exercise perhaps a little earlier and can be promoted on members' social media pages as well as the council media page to promote engagement with the public. One recommendation, Chair, at 2.1, the results of the Council's priorities, budget consultation and council tax exercise be received and considered. I move the report, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Barry. Do I have a seconder?
Chair, I'm delighted to second. And can I just pay credit to our corporate communications team in terms of doing this important piece of work, whilst they've been balancing obviously all of the other demands on the service in terms of responding to COVID. I think it's really, really important that we have continued to consult and engage and seek out the views of the residents of Merthyr Tydfil. Whilst it's been disappointing we haven't been able to do that face-to-face and raise the profile of the council and the cabinet and have that face-to-face engagement, we've continued in a virtual way, and I'm happy to second the recommendations.
Thank you for that, Councillor Davis. Colleagues, are there any questions? No? Okay. Are there any comments? Councillor Geraint Thomas?
No, I think the public are glad they haven't seen Councillor Davis with his lockdown haircut. That would frighten them off, I think. They're coming to put their counters into the boxes. It is an important bit of work, and it's something that we enjoyed. You know, we went throughout the borough years gone by, talking to the people of Merthyr, and we'd have it, you know, warts and all, you know, what they thought of council tax and what they thought about their services. And I think it's important, you know, that we get, you know, that information back from our residents. It's a shame we haven't been able to do it this year, but hopefully, you know, the pandemic, you know, could be over, you know, later in the summer or the autumn, and perhaps we can do it again. And, you know, so, yeah, thank you, Kerry, for and the comms team for doing this work online. But it'd be nice to get back, you know, on the ground speaking to residents again.
Thank you, Councillor Thomas. Are there any other observations? If there aren't, just before I move to the vote, I'll just make my own observation. And obviously, thank you, Councillor Barry, for giving us the sort of feedback and synopsis of the consultation outcomes. I think obviously 90% people not wanting an increase in council tax is inevitable, isn't it? You know, none of us want an increase in council tax, and you know, similar to our residents that we actually represent. And I so wish that it wasn't something that we had to consider, you know, in this evening's report. However, what is pleasing is that the areas where they've asked for council tax to have priorities are those priorities that we're strategically looking at as well, you know, and I hope that the public in Merthyr Tydfil will see just what we are trying to do with their council tax money and providing some really good services, including health and education, as you've said, but also, you know, repairing some of those highways and things like that as well, and the waste management that you touched upon. So thank you for that. Councillors, if there are no further comments, then I'll move on to the vote. So would all councillors in agreement with the recommendations please raise their hands?
Yeah, that's unanimous.
Thank you. Okay, if you just lower your hand for a second, as I shall do so myself, I'll move on to the next agenda item then. And that is agenda item number 4, which is the budget 2021-22, council tax 21-22, and the medium-term financial plan 21-22 to 24-25. To consider a report from the interim chief executive. And again, Councillor Barry, I believe you're taking us through this report.
Thank you, Chair. Deep breath for this one. Okay. Budget 2021-22, council tax 21-22, and the medium-term financial plan 21-22 to 22-24. The details of the medium-term financial plan has been with joint scrutiny, an audit, cabinet, full council, and not least the leaders meetings with the leader of the opposition, Councillor Darren Roberts, and his deputy Clive Jones of the Labour group, and Julia. Our final settlement confirmed, excuse me, only yesterday, an increase of 4.64 to our revenue grant for 2021-22, covered in Appendix 1. We have a proposed budget requirement of 133.342 million, detailed in Appendix 2. We have a proposed council tax increase of 3.55 for financial year 2021-22, covered at 4.1 to 4.3. Our reserves sit at a healthy 5 million, or 3.75 of the revenue budget, and well within our corporate reserves policy. You will note the new format of the medium-term financial plan. Gone are the outdated people and performance, place and transformation. They were a hangover from the past. Also, the new range of projected revenue settlements, rather than having one shot at guessing a figure, only to have Wales Audit and Welsh Government critiquing us for not sticking to the guessing game. We now have a far more sensible approach of worst case, and best guess scenarios outlined at Table 5 and 7.1 to 7.5 and Appendix 3 of this report, also at Appendix A of the medium-term financial plan. The medium-term financial plan now shows a range projected deficits between 5.264 million and 7.294 million, and cumulatively between 11.628 million and 13.740 million for the 4 years to 2024-25, set on projections between +2% and +4% for the 22-23 financial year, and subsequently 2% for per annum following that. Appendix G of the medium-term financial plan outlines our treasury management strategy at 21-22. For 21-22, Cabinet will remember the outturn and the 6-monthly monitoring report from last month. This statement outlines the management of the authority's cash flow, borrowing and investments and associated risks in accordance with the Chartered Institute of Public Finance Code of Practice 2017. The recommendations are at 2.1 to 2.3, Chair. The council tax increase of 3.55% for 21-22 financial year. Band D, £1,728.98 for the County Borough Council be recommended to Council for approval. At 2.2, the budget requirement of £133.342 million for financial year 21-22 be recommended to Council for approval. And 2.3, the medium-term financial plan for 2021-22 to 24-25 be recommended to Council for approval. I move the recommendations, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Barry, and apologies for making you giggle at the beginning of that. I do apologise. So do I have a seconder for that, please?
Chair, I'm happy to second. I'd just like to remind Councillor Snowflake Thomas as well, mind for your comments on my hairdo, that he needs to consider when he aspires to have a hairdo himself that looks like the Prime Minister. So be careful when you throw in stones, Councillor Thomas. Absolutely a huge amount of work that's gone into this by officers and members, leader, and just to obviously put on record, our thanks to you and your hard work in terms of working with opposition members to get where we are, and obviously, delighted to support this recommendation put forward by Councillor Barry.
Thank you, Councillor Davis. And sometimes it's nice to have a little bit of lightheartedness when we're talking about such important things, isn't it? But yes, OK, no more shall be said. But thank you for that, Councillor Davis. It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions, colleagues? No? OK, any observations? I can't see any hands up. So again, just prior to me going to the vote, I'll just make a comment myself. Thank you both for those comments that you made. And I would like to put it on record that I did welcome the conversations that I've had with Councillor Darren Roberts, Councillor Clive Jones, Councillor Julian Amos and his colleague, Councillor Skinner as well, with the negotiations over the last couple of months as well. And I really have welcomed their support in this matter, bringing this to Cabinet today, and obviously our report to Council tonight. So thank you for that. OK, colleagues, if there aren't any other questions, then I'll take it to the vote. Would all councillors in agreement with the recommendations please raise their hand on the screen?
Carried, Leader.
Thank you, Monitoring Officer. That is carried. OK, the next item on the agenda is item agenda number 5, any other business deemed urgent by the Chair. I have none. Wow, what a quick Cabinet meeting today. But I have none. Please all stay safe and well until I see you later at 5:30. So diolch yn fawr, thank you very much. And that's the end of the meeting.